to the second video in the Streten Masons series on the new property occupations forms. This is to do with residential letting agents, and this video will go through to explain what the changes are to the form and how to go and fill one in for residential letting agents. It's important to note that these changes come in on the 1st of December 2014, and these changes will affect all contracts entered into with property owners after that date. The form is 4 pages long, and we'll go through how that applies to residential letting agents as part of this video. First part is client details, so these are the landowners. We'd always recommend that you do a title search of the property to confirm that the client's details that you put onto the form are correct. The client name, address, suburb, phone, fax, mobile, and email address can all be included, and if there's a second client, then that can be included as well. So the next part is part 2, license details. So here you would tick the residential letting agent box, insert the name of the agency, the licensee's name, license number, and the expiry date of the license, together with your address and contact details. Fairly straightforward. The next is the details of the property that you're going to be leasing for the property owner. Here we put the details of the property, so you would put residential property including land, or as applicable, the address, suburb, state, postcode, and then the lot and plan details for the property. Again, you get that from a title search and the title reference and parish county. It's very important that all this is correct so that you correctly identify the property, and that's why a title search is vitally important. The next is the type of appointment, and here, very simply, you would tick the letting, collection of rent management box, and you would then tick that it was a continuing appointment because you're a letting agent for with a start date of, as applicable. It's important to remember that letting agents under the new legislation can be terminated on 30 days notice. The next section is section 3, and this is where you put the price. Here is where you would check the box for letting. Here you would insert the price for the rent that the property owner would like to receive and what you recommend that they receive. This part about the market without a price doesn't apply to letting agents. Section 4, instructions and conditions. Here you insert other conditions and instructions that the property owner had for you, and you can include another annexure with those details if required. Part 5, termination of appointment. This is where I was referring to before, that non-sales, letting, collection of rents, you would be able to be terminated by the property owner on 30 days notice or less if agreed by the parties. So that's why you have just a fixed date to start the appointment. Part 6 applies to sales, and so will not apply to residential letting agents. Commission. So this is where you would insert the commission that you would collect. So ordinarily for a residential letting agent, that would be a percentage of the rent that is being collected. It's very important that you know that the form requires you to include the including GST amount. We'd always recommend that you do that anyway, because that's part of when the legislation came in. But make sure that if you're going to include a percentage, say it's 8%, that you say it's 8% plus GST or 8% including GST, so that it's nice and clear. You also must include when the commission is payable. So you tick the box other when commission's payable, and then you'd include the details about when commissions is actually payable. Authorizing to incur fees. If you're going to charge advertised marketing fees to the property owner, then you need to include those details here and have an authorised amount and when that's payable. For repairs and maintenance, if you're going to be authorised to conduct repairs and maintenance up to a certain value, then you have that in there as well. This section 3 and 4 talks about if you're going to receive any other rebates or any other fees and charges, so you can include those and describe those there. Again, like with all this, if you want to attach an annexure, then you can do that here. The legislation requires that the property owner receive a warning to seek independent legal advice about the agreement. That's included there. Then the signing clauses, and then hopefully they've included a reappointment clause on the contract so that you can be reappointed to the agent for a further term if that's what they want to do. Probably doesn't really apply to residential letting agents, but it's there nonetheless. So thanks for watching this video on filling out the residential letting portion of the form 6. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us through any of our contact details on our blogs, our website, and feel free to email me at Jeremy, Jeremy, at smslaw.com.au if you have any questions. Thanks very much.